Water is life. We are made of it. We need it to survive. But there is a cruel irony in nature. If you are stranded in the middle of the ocean, you are surrounded by trillions of gallons of water, but you cannot drink a single drop. If you drink seawater, your kidneys fail, your brain swells, you go mad, and then you die. Survival experts say a human can last 3 days without water. But Daniel Brooks lasted 9 days. He wasn't a Navy SEAL. He wasn't a professional survivalist. He was a 42-year-old accountant who just wanted to sail his small boat across the coast. For 216 hours, he drifted in the vast, empty Pacific Ocean. He fought off sharks. He fought off 20-foot waves. But his biggest battle wasn't against nature. It was against his own mind. How do you keep your sanity when the only thing you see for 9 days is blue ... endless blue? Hello friends, today let's dive into a story of human endurance that defies medical science. It started as a dream vacation. Daniel had spent 2 years fixing up an old 30-foot sailboat named the Horizon. He planned a simple solo trip from San Diego to Hawaii to challenge, but a manageable one. For the first week, it was paradise. Dolphins, sunsets, gone winds. But the ocean is unpredictable. On the evening of day 8, the barometer dropped. The sky turned a bruised purple. A storm was coming. But this wasn't just a storm. It was a freak squall. It hit at 2 a.m. Crack! The sound of the mast snapping woke Daniel up. Before he could put on his boots, the boat was upside down. The ocean didn't just tip the boat, it chewed it up. Daniel was thrown into the freezing black water. He gasped for air, swallowing mouthfuls of salt. He managed to grab a small, inflatable yellow life raft that had deployed automatically. He scrambled inside. He watched as his sailboat, his food, his radio, his fresh water sank into the abyss. He checked his pockets. He had a flare gun with 2 flares, a small mirror, and a half-empty bottle of water. That was it. The storm raged for 6 more hours. Daniel held onto the straps of the raft, tossed around like a toy in a washing machine. When the sun rose, the ocean was calm again. But the silence was terrifying. He was a tiny yellow speck in a blue desert. By day 3, the real torture began. It wasn't the sharks though. They were there, bumping the bottom of the raft at night. It was the sun. Out there is no shade. The sun reflects off the water, cooking you from above and below. Daniel's skin began to blister. His lips cracked and bled. But the worst torture was the thirst. Imagine being thirsty. Now multiply that by 100. Your tongue swells up. Your throat feels like it's full of sand. Every instinct in your body screams at you. Look at all this water. Just take one sip. Just one. This is where Daniel made a critical decision. He realized he had to slow his heart rate. If he panicked, he would sweat. If he sweated, he would lose water. And if he lost water, he would die. So he adopted a strategy of radical stillness. During the day, he lay perfectly still in the bottom of the raft, covering his face with his shirt. He didn't move. He didn't look at the horizon. He forced himself into a meditative state. He rationed his half bottle of water. 1 capful in the morning, 1 capful at night. But by day 5, the bottle was empty. Meanwhile, back on land, the clock was ticking. Daniel had missed his scheduled check-in. His wife Maria knew something was wrong. She called the US Coast Guard. They launched a massive search operation. 100 to 130 Hercules planes were scanning the ocean. But here is the problem. The Pacific Ocean is huge. Searching for a 6-foot yellow raft in the ocean is harder than finding a needle in a haystack. It's like finding a needle in a field of haystacks. While the needle is moving, the waves were 10 feet high. This meant the raft was hidden in the troughs for 50% of the time. Pilots flew right over the grid where Daniel was. On day 7, Daniel actually heard a plane. He sat up. He fired his first flare. The red light streaked into the sky, but the pilot was looking the other way. The plane buzzed overhead, ... and then the sound faded away. Daniel watched his hope disappear into the clouds. This is the moment that breaks most survivors: the false hope. Back at the control center, the commander looked at the charts. After 7 days without water, the survival probability drops to near 0. They were preparing to make the hardest phone call imaginable, telling Maria they were calling off the search. Day 9. Daniel was fading. He was hallucinating. He saw his daughter walking on the waves. He heard music coming from the water. His kidneys were shutting down. He couldn't speak anymore. He had accepted that this was the end. He lay down to die. But then ... a vibration, a deep, thrumming sound that vibrated through his chest. He opened his crusted eyes. A wall of steel. A massive cargo ship, the OACL Kuala Lumpur, was cutting through the water about 2 miles away. This was his last chance. He didn't have the strength to yell. He didn't have another flare. He remembered the small mirror in his pocket. His hands were shaking uncontrollably. If he didn't angle this perfectly, the ship would pass him. He caught the sun. He angled the mirror. Flash, flash. On the bridge of the cargo ship, a lookout officer noticed a tiny glint of light. He thought it was just a reflection on a wave, but it flashed again and again. SOS, the officer grabbed his binoculars. Captain, man overboard. The massive ship began to turn. The horn blasted a sound that shook Daniel to his core. When the crew lowered the net, Daniel tried to climb, but his legs were useless. Sailors had to jump in to hoist him up as they pulled him onto the deck. He didn't ask for food. He didn't ask for a doctor. He whispered one word through cracked lips: water. When Daniel arrived at the hospital in Honolulu, doctors were shocked. His blood sodium levels were lethal. His skin was covered in salt sores. He had lost 25 pounds in 9 days, but his brain was intact. The doctors said that if he had panicked, he had rowed, screamed, or drank seawater, he would have died on day 4. His strategy of radical stillness saved his life. He survived because he controlled the one thing he could: his own mind. Today, Daniel Brooks still sails, but he never leaves the dock without a satellite phone and extra water. His story is a reminder of the fragility of life. We think we are the masters of the planet, but out there in the deep blue, we are just guests. The line between life and death is often just one calm breath. What would you have done? Would you have drunk the seawater? Let me know in the comments. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next story.